So they cultivate the park very nicely. They plant all sorts of bulbs. So these are daffodils, as you probably know. It's particularly nice in February because there are crocuses and other types of bulb. And when I was a boy, they used to have these snowdrops as well. I haven't been in February for a long time. Last year came about this time, actually it was like 22nd, and it snowed. It was very extreme last year, so the bulbs were actually, you did actually see the crocuses, but they had passed their peak. Right, another nice oak here. Beautiful shape. Right, I will just show you this big ground. There's what's called a pet's corner. I'm not going to go there because I've got other things to film, but it's free, and we used to go as kids like every Saturday. But this big place here is like a showground, and when 40 years ago on August bank holiday, they had lots and lots of tents with different exhibitions. You could buy little cacti, you could, there was also a fanfare, and there was a big display of parachuters, and it was fantastic, unbelievable, and I just took it for granted. And when we moved to another place, where's the town show, Mum? Whoa, there isn't one. There's the Essex show, it's like for farmers, but no, there isn't a town show in this town. You know, it was fantastic, you know. I remember particularly, so this was I think I was about 7 years old, so I just started getting interested in nature, and my brother and I were collecting these little cards from ice cream. And you had cards of wildlife, so there was a wild cat on one of them, a fox on another, and they were just like silly little paintings. I won't say silly, but they were paintings. They weren't, you know, photographs or anything like that. But we wanted to collect the whole set, and we were just looking in all the waste bins for these ice cream packets. And because most people, they just throw it away and not interested in the card inside, but we were, and we collected nearly all of them. There was one that I still didn't have, and that was the palmate newts, and eventually I found it, but it had been torn in half, so I just stuck it together, and I still have that collection at home. I've got the whole collection, I still have it, and it was here that I collected most of that. So this event was a very important part of my life, and I really missed it, and I wanted to go back, and I never did for years. I think I was like maybe 28, and then I finally went back to see this town show, and it was a third of what it used to be. It had really gone out, and I spoke to people and they said, oh well, they don't have so much money now, so and they said yes, it used to be much bigger. So now I'm going to go back and look at a stream, and don't want to make videos too long, so hopefully it won't be too long. Some of my videos are very short, I know, compared with other YouTube videos, so maybe I'm making this for me, really, just to have a record of my memories, but hopefully you viewers can appreciate something. It certainly is a special town. I've been to there are other new towns like Basildon and Milton Keynes, but I've visited them and they're not the same as this one. As I said, this one's unique because it's got so many trees because it's right near Epping Forest. So the journey continues, and we have magnolia here, flower, and big horse chestnut tree, and there we have the stream. And I want to go around there because there's some nice liverworts growing on the bank, and I used to collect it from my vivarium because I used to have this toad in a big glass aquarium. So I had made a vivarium and I collected particularly liverworts. If it's still the same, I don't think it's still here because now we have a lot of ivy that's grown over. Nothing stays the same. But no, I don't think it's here anymore. There's a little bit of moss down there, but it's not liverworts. Okay, so something else that's changed. Now there are sticklebacks in this stream, and I don't know what happened, but I swear that one year there were literally hundreds, and it was, I think it was in January, and my friend and I, we were just putting our hands and scooping them. There were hundreds. Don't know why that happened, but obviously there was this big population boom. That was the only time. Then the populations went back to normal, but I can see them swimming about. I don't know if you can, but quite often a small boy, he just loves water, and I can imagine myself now with my Wellington boots wading through this trying to find something interesting on my way to the river or somewhere else. So always I was distracted. Sometimes I drove my parents mad because if I was looking for something and I couldn't find it, I would keep on and I would lose all sense of time. Sometimes I didn't wear a watch and would come back at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or later. Where have you been? I've been worried sick about you. And this wasn't just once, it was several times. But my parents did actually give me a lot of freedom. Some of my friends, they weren't allowed out of their parents' side sometimes, and some of them weren't allowed near the river. Quite often they disobeyed their parents and came with me to the river, but as you can see there's lots of branches here. That's because of the storm. We've had a lot of storms, one after the other. It's been a crazy year, crazy winter, and it was a crazy year last year too, with the snow on the 22nd of March. In the background there you can see more daffodils that have been planted, and that place there, they used to have little rock bands and things there. I wasn't particularly interested at the time, you know, even during the 60s. And that big horrible building there